Well, after dealing with the drow would-be assassins and following the course of the river deeper into the mountain, each of you had sort of a moment of resolution within your own will, a desire to get stronger and to keep growing and pressing on. But as you follow this path deep in the mountain, you find that with just the minor glow of the occasional groups of fungals in the cavern, it's a deep and long and dark tunnel. And the sort of, as the adrenaline of the battle wears off, you find yourself wondering just how long you've been walking.
It was a great start. I wasn't concerned, but now I am. Do we kind of know what direction we're going? Like, we seem to be on the right track because we're following the river, right?
Which is what they instructed you to do, yes.
Okay.
We haven't lost sight of it or anything like that. Had to go around.
No, actually, from the last chamber of caverns that you were in, where you fought Talrin, the river now seems to have a cultivated, sort of flattened piece of rock that follows it all the way along the one side of the river, seemingly intentionally. But as minutes creep into hours, you find little change ahead of you, except for the fact that the frequency of these glowing funguses on either side of the riverbanks tend to grow more frequent.
We should be going the right way. I think we just keep pushing forward.
I usually follow Rowan's lead, so.
Yep.
Well, I don't see any other way to go, so might as well keep going this way.
Okay.
All right. Well, you continue to press on deeper and deeper into the mountain. You find that after several hours, at least by your estimation, the path seems as though you're going somewhat downhill, but it is confusing as the river seems to be going in the opposite direction.
Is this like that magical waterfall you were talking about once
I
upon a
was just
time?
going to say, you remember that backwards waterfall I was talking
I
about?
do. I do.
It's very reminiscent.
Oh, okay.
The angle is not quite as extreme, but the principle is the same.
Does that signify some sort of crossing of...
I don't know.
Would you like to make some sort of check?
I would like to make some sort of check.
Great tour guide we got here.
Yeah, it doesn't usually do that. It usually goes the other way. This is weird.
To be fair, deep inside a massive mountain is not really his home terrain.
I just started today. It's my first day.
It's my first day.
What some sort of check should that be?
I'll take Arcanum. I'll take Nature.
Take anything else.
MasterCard, Visa, debit.
Something
Yeah, if you
of the
want to Venmo me
wisdom
$50, I'll
variety.
tell you whatever you want to know.
Sure.
Nature. Okay. So you're sort of looking to see, because you've seen rivers do this in the natural world, and most of the time it's an optical illusion. And with that nature check plus your passive perception, you're kind of eyeing this river and you're like, this is not an illusion. And so the only conclusion you can come to is that maybe it's a crossing, but most certainly it is some sort of act of magic.
It could be, but magic's definitely involved. Unless sometimes after earthquakes, rivers can run uphill for a little while, but not. I didn't feel one, so we're probably not that.
So we should be concerned about earthquakes, maybe?
And just generally, I think that's probably a good idea.
I'll keep an eye out for those.
I want a round of perception checks, please.
Oh, good.
Do I see any earthquake?
And if a D8 will make a difference at all.
It's not gonna make enough of a difference to get you new information. Rowan, despite having rolled significantly the lowest, is significantly the highest.
Plus 11.
Notices that, like, now that he's kind of said the word earthquake and he's drawn attention to it, he notices that there is sort of this faint rumbling as though the mountain itself is in a constant state of moving.
That's weird. Anybody else feel that?
You do not.
All right.
What exactly?
Like the whole mountain's moving real slow. Like we're standing on top of something that's moving. I don't know. It's weird. Subtle.
Like the mountain moves locations?
I mean, that's kind of what it feels like, or like something's moving around.
Maybe we should hug the wall and stay away from the riverside.
Yeah, stand up a little, give it a little space from somewhere you can fall down into is probably a good idea.
Yeah, I saw what happened to Sora's cousin, so.
I would like to not fall into another river, so I am for that idea.
Yeah, just pay attention. If you feel any vibration in your feet, you pay attention to it.
Okay.
You continue on, sort of sticking more to the left wall as you're heading deeper into the mountain. And you're noticing that the air is feeling a little more humid the deeper you go. It feels very close, gradually at first, but another 20 minutes, half an hour goes by, and it almost begins to feel oppressive, like the air is thick. In the low light, with only the occasional dim light of these spores nearby, it's really hard to determine if there's any more cause to it than just humidity. But as you continue on, you do eventually see a dim light ahead that sort of creeps into slightly brighter and then brighter as the cavern opens ahead. You can also hear what sounds like a waterfall.
Rowan, I bet this is the waterfall. Or one of them.
It's got to be a different one.
Should we go check it out?
I think so, yeah.
If we want to do that cautiously, I could sneak up ahead and tell you if it's okay.
Might be a good idea.
That's the smart idea. I'll wait here.
All right, Wren, let's get a stealth check in the tower while you scout ahead of the group.
I imagine by now their telepathic link has faded out since we don't know how long we've been walking.
How many hours did you roll on that?
I don't think it was very high. I think it was like 3.
3.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, it has faded now.
Then I will expend a use and do that again
Okay.
for
Just so useful.
7
Good
hours.
one. 7-hour connection.
And I'll get you that still. Nope, that's sleight of hand.
Looking for sleight of foot.
Sleight of foot.
Okie dokie.
He's rolling something in
Well,
response.
Yep.
You creep ahead of the party, and as you do, you find that this natural cavern opens up almost in an unnatural way very suddenly, and yet there doesn't seem to be any evidence of tools or any intentional blasting away of stone or anything of that nature. However, as you step into this area where it opens up very suddenly, you do see a large pool of water, not so much as a lake, but more like a deep pond, as there is a waterfall pouring down off of a 60-foot cliff in front of you, the wall of which has increasingly bright layers of fungus growing out of the sides of the stone. And to your sides, left and right, you can see the cavern goes on well beyond your dark vision, with similarly dim funguses growing on either side of the wall. It seems to be almost like a 30-foot wide tunnel going off, infinitely so from your perspective.
I don't see anybody though.
You don't see anyone. If you'd like to make a perception check, you are welcome to.
Certainly try.
Yeah, the only thing that immediately stands out to you is that the fungus seems to grow brighter the higher up you go, and above the cliff edge, you can actually see a cavernous ceiling above that, completely covered in bright light from the light-emitting funguses growing on it. You
all right. Oh, go ahead.
do hear movement, just barely over the sound of the waterfall coming from above.
Then she will. How far did she have to go from them to like scout
60,
ahead?
60 feet, 70 feet, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then she says, there is most certainly a waterfall here, and I think we might be getting closer. I hear movement, and I see even more glowing fungus on the ceiling.
It sounds like we're getting closer.
I don't see anyone, so I think you can follow now.
Okay. Hopefully the waterfall's loud enough too.
Still attempt to be stealthy about it. Not just gonna waltz up, at least personally.
Yeah, absolutely. Is
She'll
Brielle
try.
also-
I'm sorry, guys. She'll
It's
try
okay.
if you're trying.
Okay. Yeah, you both make your way up to Wren, and Rowan, your pass was 21, right?
Yes.
Fucking ridiculous. It's basically just, here, draw me a map. As you come into the same cavern that Wren is in, two things immediately stand out to you. One, first and foremost, this waterfall is kicking up zero mist, none
that's
at
weird.
all. Secondly, as you look up at the bright lights appearing on the cavern above you, you can see the air is thick with spores. Brielle, as you step up into the cavern, you feel more than you hear something alerted to your presence. There's sort of it almost feels like, have you ever heard a conversation at a great distance and you can hear them making noise, but the context of language is just completely removed?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that, with several entities communicating back and forth very rapidly, and then the sense of them growing closer. Very quickly, you all sort of get the same sensation, and all at once, you can hear things shuffling towards the edge. And as you look up, you can see about 24 humanoid-like creatures comprised of funguses, with bands of glowing, like, what's the word I'm looking at? Phosphorescent, like strips of just glowing colors coming off of them. Some of them with actual spores kind of hovering around their heads. Many of them with sort of faces that you wouldn't really associate with a humanoid, but they all seem to peer out at you with a physical version of sight. And as they do, two of you hear this sort of confusing jumble of language in your heads. But Wren, you hear, outsiders, what do you want?
Oh, interesting. They're already speaking to me telepathically. Am I able to like do that back, or do I need to like establish a connection from her end?
You are able to respond telepathically.
And I assume that they're all still connected to me and can hear this too then, if I'm talking in my head.
They can hear you, they can't understand the others.
Okay. We are here on behalf of our friends, the Earth Genasi. They wish for passage through here to pay respect to Orindar.
There seems to be, they're really kind of suddenly put off by this. Like, this was the last answer they were expecting. They all kind of look at each other. One of them sort of tentatively shifts forward towards the edge a little bit more, and you hear in your head, outsiders not allowed.
Is that just Brielle?
No idea what they're saying. They're just leaning over.
Yeah. Yeah, Brielle is just like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Wren is just gonna say to the party then telepathically, she's kind of translating for them as they're talking. They say outsiders aren't allowed, but then she's going to respond with, they only want to worship Orindar. Isn't that allowed? Doesn't Orindar deserve worship?
There's another quiet sort of silent deliberation between them. You get the sense that they're communicating amongst themselves without specifically triggering your ability to hear their thoughts. Guardian Vott will talk to you.
Guardian. Can you spell that for me?
V-O-T.
Yep, Vott. Okay. Are we to wait here, or are you leading us to this Guardian?
You will follow. Hostile action will end your life immediately.
We wish to remain peaceful and not to disrupt anything in the mountain. And she kind of just is holding her hands up to show some measure of promise on her part.
It sort of leans in a little closer, and even though it's 60 feet above your head, you feel as it communicates with you again, its voice kind of wrapped around your head as though it's holding you. You would be the first outsider to survive and not feed our mushrooms.
Wren just like relays that message to the others. Just continue to be respectful, I suppose.
And as you relay that thought to the others, you notice that in the wall in front of you, certain caps sort of open up into these semicircular platforms leading all the way up at an angle the wall, as though it is a staircase.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Wren will follow. Silver did agree to like kind of help Wren out with this too, since she has like ability in that direction. But
Correct, but with her not being here this week, the roleplay is going to fall heavily on Wren.
I was kind of hoping for an advantage in that. Maybe Wren's all or Silver's
Does
all
my wave
shaken
give
up.
her advantage on anything? I'm being friendly.
We're friendly.
They don't
chill.
understand the gesture. But you walk on these mushroom caps all the way up, and as you step on them, like they support your weight, but they have this give to them and response that makes you almost feel like these mushrooms may be partially sentient and aware of you stepping on them.
I'll step on them respectfully. With their consent.
And as you walk up, you find yourself on this flat plateau. There is a sizable lake here formed, though unlike the river below you, the water here that is constantly pouring out into the river seems to have no source. It is completely contained within this cavern. All the way around the water source, you can see bright, glowing funguses of many shapes and styles, many colors, and you can see areas where different humanoid creatures are gathered in groups, some of them sort of sheltered within the larger fungal caps, and some of them going about various tasks, seeming very, human-like in a lot of ways. You do also notice several drow bodies nearby with mushrooms growing on them. One of them, the arm is sort of elevated and jolting a little bit as though it is being reanimated.
That's over at Silra.
Silver kind of takes a look at them, and she does notice that they are from where she is from. They aren't her family members or anything of that nature, but they are certainly wearing emblems she recognizes.
All right. As we're going, I think Wren is doing what she normally does when encountering like a new society that she's unfamiliar with the customs for, and she's just kind of taking in anything that might help give her like an advantage in interacting with this guardian they're about to meet.
Roll an insight for me.
Okie dokie. I'm going to add this.
Still.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The Twitch overlay leads me to believe that you have inspiration.
I'm not gonna use it for this. I am concerned about what we're about to face.
Their movements and behaviors are very alien to you and hard to understand. The one thing maybe that you kind of pick out is that they seem to be very task oriented. Once they've set to a task, they seem to focus on it completely. And you see that with the one who is speaking to you, who is now walking just ahead of you, singularly towards another destination.
Sorry, I was writing something. They the one, there's someone walking towards us? Is that what you said?
No, the one that was speaking to you is walking ahead of you, expecting you to follow. He does seem focused on you and the path ahead, but like nothing else. He seems to be completely focused in on moving you to where you need to be now. You walk through, I mean, it almost feels like a small village by a lake that you would find on the surface. You've got these bright lights on the cavern ceiling 50 feet above your head. This beautiful, clear water that, as it goes to flow out to the river, then seems to become populated by these small metallic filaments that are in the water. You have these clusters of funguses that almost act as like cottages or little homes of some kind. You even see little small-sized fungal creatures running about in groups. It seems like a peaceful village. As you continue on following this creature, it seems to be walking towards another cliff wall, not as high up as the previous one, only about 20 feet up. And as he approaches it, instead of forming in the wall, caps seem to sprout out of the ground. Rowan at least would notice that they were there, they were just sort of furled up, and as you approach, they seem to sense the intent and release to allow a platform. And as you approach the plateau ahead, you can see there is one seated on a large cap with a backed sort of chair almost, glowing and giving off a constant set of glowing spores. It has 4 other creatures, 2 to each side, 2 of them carrying wooden staves with mushrooms growing out of them, and 2 of them carrying blades seemingly made of stone. And as you approach, you can hear its voice in your head. You are the outsiders.
Yes, we are the outsiders.
And you seek passage.
Well, we actually seek to negotiate with you passage for our friends who are currently higher up in the mountain at the moment. It seems that there was a communication barrier that I could perhaps fill for them.
What do they wish?
They wish to show proper worship to Orindar deeper in the mountains and would like passage to do so.
They commune with Orindar.
That's the impression that Wren got, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, they do, and it seems that Orindar has also seen me, in a way.
Surface Dweller claims to commune with Orindar. Show me.
I think Wren is going to try sort of what she did before then. She's just going to slip out of her sandals and posture herself on the ground once more. And she's not certain this will work, considering that they had some sort of worship site set up before. But she is gonna like focus in her mind, pressing her thoughts out there and just opening herself to being seen by the mountain.
I'm going to have you do 2 different rolls here. The first of which is going to be a intelligence saving throw, because this is going to be a slightly different reaction than you have experienced the last 2 times.
out in the open or in the tower?
Let's do it in the open.
Okay. Just gonna.
See that saving throw. That'll do it. You are much deeper in the mountain now. And this place is a place fully dedicated to the veneration of Orindar. So when you reach out with your mind, you almost instantly collide with the will of Orindar. You feel this creature of immense power. You can almost feel him. You can almost see him. You can certainly feel the immense weight of how powerful he is. Your mind is shook for a moment while his like intellect kind of meets yours halfway and threatens to overtake it momentarily. But you instinctively back up and shield yourself a little bit, and you can feel almost now that like you've spoken to these Myconids, you almost feel like that was like a gateway language to his attempts to communicate to you before. And you can feel him communicate that he desires freedom. It's almost more a question than a statement. Like, would you free me?
I mean, the Genasi worship this thing like it must be
This
nice.
couldn't be bad.
I know somebody that wants to, though. I have a friend you might like to meet.
Yeah, I think she's sitting there. She's fully aware that like she hasn't told the party about the experience that she had, and like she's never said anything about being religious of the sort, and she's just sitting there, and it does look like she's like praying and reaching out and like in reverence, and then she kind of recoils a little bit, but she tries not to break the connection, and she again relaxes and is just like, I believe my friends would like to.
As you relay thoughts back to Orindar, you sort of get these flashes of memory. And I would like for you to make... I'll let you choose. You can make like a wisdom check or an intelligence check. And what you're trying to do is understand what he's sharing with you.
Well, my... like just straight that, or like a skill related?
If you can make an argument for a skill, I'll hear it out.
If I'm trying to understand, could I argue insight then?
Sure, I'll let you have that.
Okay, is that out in the open?
Yeah, let's do it in the open. Ooh, pretty good. You very rapidly see the material plane being born with 8 very dominant, very powerful creatures overseeing its construction. You see very quickly the arrival of new beings, and for a time, creation expands and grows rapidly, almost to the point of like unbridled creation. And then very suddenly, darkness and war and creatures being cast out, and you see the earth open up and take 2 of these creatures whole, and very suddenly you see the High Father forming around them.
It took in 2 creatures?
Yes. The mountain continues to grow more and more and more, and you can see over time the prisoner of the mountain sort of raging against its cell, extending its reach out, trying to grow in influence and power, trying to undo what has been done. And then darkness for a long time until a glow in the dark. Mushrooms. And as they grow and multiply, you see the Myconid colony growing and worshipping and gathering around this imprisoned creature.
Did she get the sense that Orindar was one of the ones that were there as the 8 dominant creatures overseeing the construction?
They all felt a little different, and because it's sort of this vague conceptual concept you're sort of remembering instead of seeing, it's hard to say who was what, but you can feel a certain sense of being from Orindar, and weirdly none of the 8 matches that perfectly, that same sense of being.
What is the Myconid in front of her doing?
Yeah, as you kind of come out of that memories, you can see that all 5 of them have sort of stepped forward and around Wren. And as you kind of sort of recall your surroundings, arms kind of come out and just rest on your shoulders as you stand back up.
She stands up, and I think she's actually like a little bit sad when she does stand up, and just feeling the weight of those memories, she's just like, do you seek to keep Orindar here? Are you just keeping Orindar company?
We keep Orindar safe.
I think that Orindar would greatly benefit from meeting our friends who want to pass through.
You commune with Orindar. If your friends commune with Orindar, if they show the proper veneration, and if they do not bespoil the gift of Orindar, then they are welcome. If you can prove yourselves worthy.
She's again sort of just like in the back of her mind. She's kind of communicating over this jarble of noise that you guys are receiving. You can hear Wren's voice just like more gently underneath it as she translates that for all of you. Are we up to proving ourselves?
Well,
The Genasi, yeah.
yeah. Wouldn't be the first time this week we proved ourselves to somebody.
People don't seem to trust us. Weird.
You know, no, they don't know Tara. She couldn't vouch for us.
We would like to prove ourselves.
There's an exchange of looks, and Guardian Vott returns to his little mushroom throne, and you can feel as he sits down before you, much like you felt the story of Orindar, you can feel the suffering of the Myconid colony as a creature attacks their gatherers, their scouts, something that tears through the mountain and makes them feel worried and unsafe. You can't seem to gather a visual image in your mind of it, only the feelings that they feel when they think on it. You do, however, get a physical image of several of their people in various partially eaten states. And these feelings are followed by Vott communicating with you again. There is a mutation in the High Father. A creature unnatural and evil and chaotic. Born of a perversion of Orindar's gift, infused with it, empowered by it. We have neither the capacity to fight nor kill this creature, and it makes the mountain weep. If you remove this creature, we would welcome you as champions of Orindar and allow you and anyone else you deem safe passage.
Yeah, as soon as Wren finishes translating that, she this time just like looks to the others to kind of gauge how they're feeling about that.
I'm there. I'll help them.
Oh yeah. Sounds like we'd be doing the natural world a favor anyway.
Another favor for another favor. Perhaps while we're down there, we'll gain another acquaintance to give a favor to.
Or we could just be nice.
It's just favors all the way down.
Yeah. We will take care of this for you. Tell us where to go. Also, I am Wren, and this is, and she like points to Brielle. Brielle, Rowan, Silra.
Welcome. We are the Orvoss, keepers of the High Father, protectors of Orindar. We have been here since the time of the Sirach.
My wrists are gonna be on fire by the time I'm
I
done.
know, I'm like typing everything.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a lore heavy one coming into this. We have not seen the surface for many centuries. But outsiders bring trouble, and they pervert the gift of Orindar.
We don't seek to do such things. We have business elsewhere that requires some of our friends to be able to take care of theirs here.
We do not know where the creature lairs. We do know that it stays near Urnval, the Great Blackwater. Many have died there, Orvoss and outsider.
I'm sure I'm spelling everything wrong.
I know, everything is.
As long as you can pronounce it again, I feel like that's the real important part.
My friend here, points to Rowan, said that he could hear some sort of rumbling. Was that you, or was that perhaps the creature, or Orindar himself?
It felt as though the mountain was slowly moving under my feet.
Orindar always is shaping the mountain, always adjusting, growing, returning to his full strength.
Is Orindar the only one here? In terms
We are
of...
also here.
She tries to like communicate if she can, like this thought, this memory, in the way that she saw two creatures being taken into the earth. Is there another like Orindar?
Ah, you have the incomplete story. He gets up and beckons you to follow. And he basically just walks around behind his throne, and provided you follow, you can see that now what was hidden from view behind the throne is a small opening into the rock face behind him. And as you step through into it, you find yourselves in this long circular hallway. It is illuminated at the top by these mushroom caps, and on the walls are these very colorful paintings of basically the story you just saw. And as you all step into the chamber, you can see that Guardian Vott sort of has a revelation and steps forward to Silra and Brielle and Rowan and attempts to reach out and touch each of you on the forehead.
I allow it.
I make no effort to prevent that.
Yeah, as soon as he touches an appendage to your skin, you hear the thought in your head, I wish to tell this story once.
Noted.
In the era of creation, there were 8. They formed the very plane we live on. And he kind of walks around this circular hallway, kind of showing you each painting, and you can see these 8 large creatures. Rowan, I think you right away pick up on them as elemental beings. Being one so affiliated with the elements, I think it's only natural that you would at least immediately kind of catch that. Each one of them seems to be a unique element, though they have a depiction about them that seems titanic. Like they don't seem like a common elemental you might find on the elemental plane of fire or something. These things seem to be depicted almost like gods. And as he continues on, he describes the coming of new beings, and you see these other gods arriving on the material plane. And for a time, creation was shared between the gods and the Eldar. And he continues on until one betrayed the creators. And then you see a depiction of a war. You see these 8 elemental beings on one side and these newly arrived gods on the other. And you see the elemental plane, or not the material plane between them sort of sundered by the battle that is taking place. And chiefly among the battlefield, you see the main armies of each side. On the side of the elementals, you see the first dragons. And on the side of the gods, the first giants. This was a war that nearly destroyed the very plane that they fought for. And in the end, a terrible price was paid by the creators. And you once again see the earth opening up. You also see the others being pulled in other directions, but they seem to have the story of Orindar and not the others here from this point forward. And as you see 2 being pulled into the earth, one of them seeming to be a creature made entirely of stone and magma, the other a creature that is crystalline, floating in the air and giving off this ethereal light. And as they are pulled into the earth, he tells you, in their last act of desperation, They chose to become one to survive. And here they influence their creation, biding time, growing in strength, seeking to be free from the prison the gods made for them.
That's why he felt different.
Orindar is new and ancient all the same.
I really want to go back into my notes of the Blue Dawn and what they told us. But it's too far back right now.
Did the crystalline creature have a name?
We do not know. We know it only as Orindar.
Okay.
What are they waiting for exactly? What would free them from such a prison made by gods?
He walks you back a couple of paintings to show you the depiction of where they were swallowed up by the earth. And you can see on the far left end of this, like, almost tapestry-like painting of this conflict, you can see several of the new gods here combining their power into an act of world-shaping magic. And almost with a sense of hoping against hope, like the weight of impossibility and yet hope that it is possible. He tells you it would require an act of magic that rivals that of the gods.
So, not something exactly of our talents then, at the moment.
No, even as possible champions of Orindar, there is little hope that you could accomplish such a feat. However, our oldest have told us that it is the very gift of Orindar that could fuel such a magical deed.
Well, we've already gotten involved with fighting dragons. We might as well get involved now with setting our sights on gods. Why not?
Well,
I mean, I'm kind of like a god beginner, so maybe if you give me enough time.
She is a baby god. It is.
I do not know of this concept.
Me either, until like 2 weeks ago, but
But
we'll
if
try our
you
best.
have the power of the gods, perhaps this magic is within your potential.
I can try. I'm always willing. And if not, Wren can look at the mountain.
He doesn't seem to understand what you're saying, and so just
I
waits
don't think
for you.
Brielle understands either. She's just regurgitating stuff she always gets told. It makes sense to other people. It must make sense to...
Oh. So we saw 8.
Yes.
And we were told before by the Blue Dawn that there were 7 prime deities or something like that, or was that not related to this?
It's well. Yes, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's seven worshipped
prime
right
deities.
now here. Okay, yeah. All right.
I mean, they are the prime deities because they are the primary gods of this world. They are the ones that are active and powerful and worshipped.
But they weren't talking about like these are the ones that formed everything.
No, not necessarily. Though Brielle, you do know that the god that is connected to you is known as the patron god of giants.
Picked up on that one. We're gonna be best friends.
Yeah, what's that gonna be like? Uh-oh.
Yep. I keep it secret for now.
It was the new gods and the giants versus the elemental gods and the dragons, right? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you should be talking to some of the dragons we meet instead of fighting.
Hey, that guy started it.
It's true.
Yeah.
That guy started. I was asleep.
he fully started it by trying to eat your favorite old man.
Exactly.
What a jerk.
I think, yeah, Bren's just like, thank you for sharing all of that with us. It was a lot to take in, but should serve us well in knowing what we're getting into at least. But
Do
I
they not
suppose
teach you of your origins on the surface?
talking to me.
Yeah.
You mean in terms of how the world came to be?
Yes.
I'm gonna guess no. This is like the first time Wren is hearing this, correct?
It's the first time you're hearing this story, yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing this story. It seems that not many are left who aren't seeking the future rather than the past.
That is sad. The old ways will be lost forever.
Well, hopefully not if we can help it.
The Sirach used to keep good records. You should find them.
Okay. I mean, maybe not all hope is lost, seeing as our friends are from the surface and they know Orindar. There could be hope. But there's others out there that still believe in the old ways.
The passage of so many concerns us. You must know that if you are champions of Orindar, that you are obligated to protect his ways, even from those you consider friends.
I see what you're saying. We can't know the true desires of such a large amount of people.
Though they are born of rock, perhaps they should be given chance.
They did warn us quite thoroughly that we are not to disturb anything or leave anything out of place when we're sent on our way. They seem to have a deep respect for Orindar.
That is good. We see them gather Orindar's gift. Do they use it with proper veneration?
I mean, as far as Wren is concerned, she's like, I would say so.
Then my concerns are lessened.
Good. We have had quite a difficult journey by people who, running into people who are not as respectful to Orindar and the things that travel through here. Do you mind if we get some rest before we continue on with our next task?
You see, he kind of wavers a little bit as though he's communicating elsewhere. And then sort of comes back to you. Yes, we can find a place for you to rest.
Thank you.
He leads you back out of these tunnels, and by the time you reach his throne, there is a sixth Myconid who is there, seemingly waiting for you. They just gesture and head back down the mushroom caps. They take you about a quarter of the way around the body of water that is central to their home, and you find a tiny stream of water sort of rushing out of the lake, uphill once more, into a spot where it sort of goes around in this circular motion and then drains out of sight somewhere. Here there is a thick moss on the stone that is quite soft. You should be comfortable here. And it's like literally Guardian Vott's voice coming through this other Myconid.
Oh, that's a little unsettling. Thank you for your hospitality. It looks like Rowan is very pleased with this.
It reminds me of home a little bit.
We are pleased to hear this.
I guess they get some rest.
Yeah,
Even though Brielle is fine.
Girl's fine. Girl's always fine.
So he wanders away, and as you kind of make this spot comfortable for yourselves, you do see that the occasional pair of smaller Myconids come running towards you and then stop and watch from a distance and then run off. But other than that, they seem to be giving you a pretty wide berth and letting you feel comfortable at a distance kind of thing.
They're so stinky cute.
Are they what would be considered the same basic arrangement?
Like, are they generally humanoid shape?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, all of them are like four-limbed with a head kind of thing.
Have fun with that.
And I think as Brielle says that, and there's like these little, I assume little kid Myconids running up to gawk at the strangers. Wren has shapeshifted to turn into like one of them, and though I guess she's kind of like all spotty from discoloration.
A lot of them are actually, so that kind of fits in.
Oh, that's so cute. And she
Brielle?
does
Like what she
You
does to
see,
Lottie's kid?
you see that the two of them look at each other and then look at you, and then they sort of like jump up and down and then turn around and run away.
Oh.
A few minutes later, about 8 of them show up. You see one of them pointing, and they all start sort of bouncing up and down.
Wren had turned back after that, but then when she sees that, she only turns her head into like a Myconid and like sticks out her tongue at them and then like turns back. But when she looks at them again, she has her normal face.
The very concept of having a tongue in that form seems to bewilder them. They all sort of like reel back in shock.
What is that?
But then once again, they all seem to start bouncing, and it's like sort of this weird rhythmic, like half of them are bouncing down and half of them up, and then they kind of like go back and forth. Give me another insight check. It's not really important, but
this is the
I
most
disagree.
important.
I was gonna say, while this is happening, Brielle's digging through her backpack to like the very, very bottom, and she's pulling out the stones that the Genasi kids tucked away, and she's gonna give them to them as like little gifts, like the pebbles that they were putting in her pockets, as like a gift from the Genasi as well, kind of thing. But also because you
Okay.
said I would never use these in game, and I said bet.
Why don't you cast your light on one of them?
I will. I'll cast light on one too.
okay. So first, Wren, as you see this bouncing thing happening for like the third time, you get the sense this is like their version of laughing. This is what they do to show their enjoyment. Brielle, as you make your approach, at first, most of them sort of step back a few feet and then sort of slow down and wait and watch. But one of them sort of bravely steps forward slowly and is like, you can see it's like examining you, like it doesn't understand what you are.
She'll just like stand there with the pebbles very still and allow it to like come up to her and inspect her all she wants, like come up close at its own pace, kind of thing. She'll probably even kneel down to be at the same level, just so it's eye to eye kind of thing.
Fair enough. When you kneel down, it seems a little comforted, and it steps forward, and it looks into your hands at these little pebbles that you're holding, and you can hear, now that it's so close to you, a very faint, pretty. It reaches out and picks one up.
And Brielle poke it and make it light up. For
You
you.
see as it holds it tightly in one hand, on its left shoulder, a mushroom cap starts to grow and grow a bright blue color, and she pulls it off and places it in your hand.
Brielle's so excited.
And then she turns and runs back to the others and holds her hands out, and you can see them all bouncing up and down this rhythmic way, and they each kind of run up to you one at a time and try to take a rock from your hands and exchange it for a glowing mushroom of their own.
Done. She'll like cast light every time, so the other, like whoever took the last one, it'll. She wants to make them all feel special.
you can see that like the first one of me is like.
They're holding it. They don't know.
But they seem entertained by this idea of the light moving from each stone, and then as they come back away as a group away from you, you can see them about 20 feet off, each of them kind of trying to touch their stone to the other one to see what happens. Seeing if they can transfer this light between it themselves.
I'm adding 8 glowing mushrooms to my inventory now. Just you wait.
She's gonna
What
trade
will
up
they be
until
used
she can
for?
get something really valuable.
Yep.
Like 30 sessions on, she's gonna have like 8 houses somehow.
I have a wizard's tower that can move
Yeah.
around and
Took it from Cenebrius somehow.
But after a few minutes, they seem to notice a more adult-looking Myconid nearby, and though you don't hear anything, they all run back towards where they came from.
They just got scolded. Yeah, I guess we get some rest then for the night.
All right. So you're all just gonna get your bedrolls and get some sleep, all that jazz.
Yeah.
I'll offer to do a watch. Not that I don't trust them, but
I
This
think
is
Wren's just like, I have not noticed a whole lot since I've been here, so I feel like it might be in better hands with all of you.
Well, whoever's taking first watch may make a perception check for me as you all get some sleep at whatever ungodly hour this might be.
Who knows?
I'll do first watch.
Well, much like you saw while you're above, most of them are kind of giving you guys a wide berth. None of them really coming near you. You do get the sense that there's like this constant sound of trickling, and like there's this little stream near you, but it's a strange sensation that like there's more to it than that. But you can't really put your finger on it. However, it is quite a pleasant sound, and it does make you feel sleepy. That's about it. Who's on second watch?
I'll do it.
Yeah. That was just a D20.
Oh.
You're plus 11.
Plus 11.
Honestly, you have the exact same experience as Brielle. Nothing different. And then I assume Silra's on the last watch, which is fine. And she also sees basically the same thing. Brielle.
Yeah.
You, in your sleep, find yourself coming into consciousness on this mountaintop. There, Tundresia is standing with you, and you can feel sort of the weight of the atmosphere, and she, with her back to you, says, "So, you are at the site of Tharvos' greatest disappointment."
What do you mean, disappointment?
Well, even gods have regrets. This is something that has marked this new era for Tharvos and his followers.
Can I help fix it for him?
Perhaps. It might be a part of all of this. It is unclear. But we stand on the precipice of the second great cataclysm.
Do you think if we let Orindar go that would be bad or cause it?
It is not as simple as that. Orindar's prison, all of the Elder Elementals' prisons, they are a product of convergence magic. Multiple gods combining their magical acumen into one singular act that shapes the planes themselves.
So we have to kind of work together with the other gods? Do they regret it too?
Unfortunately, they do not.
Oh. Yeah, that would be too easy, wouldn't it?
In time, they may be swayed, but time is not an abundant resource. Not anymore.
I could try talking at least to my friend Rowan. He has a god friend.
I know a god.
I know a guy that knows a guy.
We're real tight. We hung out like once.
But
The servant of Orindar. We are familiar with him.
good, bad.
He
We
is
like him?
well in our eyes, but he
Okay.
is not of the... His odds of persuading his own god against a course of action seems unlikely.
Noted.
Though Orindar is the closest ally we have to potentially restructure things.
Okay, well that's a start. I can work
However,
on that.
Tharvos and Arendar's power are being focused on defense.
Okay.
There are those that seek to free the serpent, and if it is freed, this entire plane will unravel.
Oh. Okay. I'll make sure everyone knows that. And Brielle's like really unsure of herself, and she's almost like scared in a way. Because she's like, oh god, all this is getting put on me, and like this is a lot of above my pay grade, but she's trying so hard to just impress this woman. Question for you.
Yes.
I know last time you said that Tharvos was really busy and obviously he's focusing his attention on defense, but if I reach out to him, not like this, and I have nothing against you, and I think you're great, and I love talking to you. I've loved it since I was a kid, but maybe if I try and reach out to him himself, he could help me out a little more to do the things he needs to do.
Tharvos has been patiently waiting for the time that he can fill your vessel with greater power. Reach out to him and he will respond.
That's so awesome. I mean, thanks. Okay. Serpent.
Awesome is
And she's like-
unironically the correct word.
Brielle's like so excited by that she agrees with her. That's the thing. And then she just like starts saying out loud the things she's trying to remember to tell the group, like serpent, this guy. Okay, you know, this guy's cool. We're good with this. She's trying her best, and she's just like, is there anything else you need me to know?
If you can make allies with the prisoners, perhaps they may lend you their strength and create opportunity that doesn't currently exist.
I can do that.
Should certain other deities find out of your intent, you could bring the wrath of the outer planes down on yourself. The choice is yours.
It's a lot of pressure to put on my shoulders, but I'm willing to take it.
I know you can. His blood flows through you.
I feel it. becoming more powerful every day. I'll do my best. I always will.
I have faith in you.
Thanks.
You wake to that same trickling sound and the comforts of the thick moss under your body, and a childlike Myconid, only 10 feet out, kind of watching what you're doing, confused by the fact that two of you are laying still.
So funny.
Eh?
Sleeping?
As soon as you sit up, it jumps and runs away.
I'm sorry.
So it's like morning now?
It's after a long rest.
That was surprisingly comfortable.
Yeah, I tell you, moss is the best.
It was pretty nice. I have a lot to tell you guys, but I'm gonna wait until maybe we're not here. Oh, is that okay?
Understood.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
I think I just need a little more time to sort out my brain and process it. But once I'm done, I think there's a lot that we need to know going into this. I'll tell you on the way back to the Genasi.
Take your time.
Thanks.
Are you okay? Apart from being overwhelmed.
Nope, I'm good.
Insight check.
Go for it. It's the same as when Brielle tells you she's fine and she's dripping blood in a fight. She's not even trying to hide it.
Nope.
It's too early in the morning for Wren.
Yeah, Wren is a little bit groggy. She's just like, okay. She packs up her things and holds out her hand to help Scylla up from her trance and looks around. Doesn't really know where they're supposed to head from here.
Yeah.
As you gather up your things and prepare to move on, you find one of the Myconid who was protecting Guardian Vott approaching you. It gestures for you to follow and continues on another 10 degrees around this lake, makes a left turn and takes you down a wide passage. And this passage soon becomes sort of a spiral going down deeper. And as it does, you find it opens up into a very wide passage in one direction, and the other direction there is what looks to be a massive wall constructed of mushroom stalks. As he walks towards the wall, he gets within about 10 feet of it and places his staff on the ground, and you see they just absorb into the stone below. And you see a dark tunnel ahead of you, only sporadic lights of mushroom caps down the way. It gestures ahead, and as it does, you can kind of see in your mind's eye the passage. And as you go down, you're still standing in this spot you pictured walking down this passage, following its twists and turns, various chambers off to different sides. It becomes much more natural, much more fluid, carved by possibly water or just the movement of earth, and becomes much more rugged in places. And as you get further and further out into the darkened depths of this place, you find a massive black lake that only when you draw near to it, does a glow appear on the surface of it. And as he gestures down that passageway, you suspect that was his way of giving you directions to where he knows the creature to be near.
Thank you. She's not sure if they can even understand her without the mental connection, but that was something, wasn't that?
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. That was, no offense, Rowan, cooler than the horse trick.
Oh no, that's got nothing on the horse trick.
Well, I thought when we had seen the Genasi party that would have been one of the coolest things that I've seen. Now it also seems like we're going to be encountering gods or god level magic, or trying to at least.
All right, I'll tell you guys now.
Are you actually walking out down this tunnel as you say that? Like, because
I mean, we got to draw this thing's attention somehow, right? We got to find it.
You are like, because like you saw
we're at
the passage,
entrance,
but,
right?
But like you haven't moved. He just showed you the path in your mind, and he is still standing there gesturing.
Oh, he's still standing there. Oh, I thought he
okay.
walked away. Never mind. I will not say that then. I thought he left.
No, he's waiting.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Keep walking.
We had a different thought of what was going on.
Fair enough. As you actually begin to walk into the tunnel, as soon as you get past where the stalks were, you can see he once again taps his staff into the ground. These mushrooms grow to block the path. You are left to your own devices and in darkness. And I think maybe we'll stop and take a break here, and we can sort of segue into Brielle's revelation when we return. So do your thing, get your snacks and your drinks, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. So, as the Myconids reseal this tunnel and you head off into the darkness, I believe Brielle has something to discuss with you.
So as they're like walking along kind of in the quiet, Brielle's just gonna, I don't know, she'll just cold cut to the chase and just be like, so remember my angel friend that comes to me when I sleep? Yeah? Okay, so she visits... Sorry?
The giant lady?
Yeah. She visited me again last night. And she told me a lot of stuff, like a lot of very important sounding, world-ending, bad stuff, but also stuff that they seem to think that we can do. I don't know why, but okay, I'm confusing you. Let me start again. Okay, so she kind of works for a god named Thavros who gives me power. And with his power, I get strength, and he, unfortunately, is kind of the god of giants. So in that picture where you saw the giants against the elementals,
That's a little bit awkward.
Yeah. But on the plus side, he says that trapping the Titans was kind of a big mistake, and he regrets it. And right now, my god and your god, and she'll like point to Rowan, they work together, apparently. So that's good. that you and I work together and they work together, and that'll be great instead of hating each other. But
Yeah, I like that better.
yeah, so they're right now trying to. Okay, so essentially there's a big cataclysm or something that's going to happen, and it's because of convergence magic. What that means, I don't know, but maybe you guys know. And all the gods, like the pictures, the elemental gods got trapped by, like, exactly like the picture said. And if we can help our gods to free the people that are imprisoned, meaning the Titans, I think, then that could be good. Because there's a big, huge, oh gosh, how do I say this? She's like really struggling. Okay, there's a serpent, right? And it's trapped. And
Right.
yeah, so the bad gods, because there's good gods and bad gods, and ours are good gods, and then there's other bad gods, and they want to release the serpent. And that's going to be bad for the planes. Guys, stop laughing. I can't stop laughing. And so if this serpent is freed, then the planes are going to unravel. And in a previous dream, I was told there's a big storm coming. I assume it can only mean that, and the world could end. And I'm trying so hard.
That's okay. I think I'm getting the gist of it.
Do you get it?
I think so.
Okay, so essentially, my guy says that we have to help them because he regrets doing this in the first place, and if we could do that, then we stand a chance of making the world a better place. And if not, then the wrath of the plains will be brought down on me. But that part's not important.
I don't know. That seems kind of important.
No, it's okay.
Rowan, you're proficient with religion, right?
Yeah, please help.
Filling some gaps.
Yes, I am.
Let's get a religion check from you, please. Ooh, pretty good actually. Yeah, you a couple things stand out to you about that. Imprisoned serpent and the unraveling of the plains. You're familiar enough with the concept of the world serpent at the that is trapped at the roots of the world tree. And basically the story is when it becomes free, it will devour all of existence.
I don't want that. That's bad.
Yeah, you know that to be a power beyond even the gods of this realm. And so the hope is that it just remains to slumber for eternity. But there's a couple other things that sort of all of this rambling of like concepts stir in you. You remember your friend Elwyn telling you a story about Orvoss, about how it's believed that before the second convergence, he was much like many of the other gods, distant and allowing his progeny to run free. And many of the giants had grown to be evil and malicious in that time. And since the second convergence, there seems to have been a change in the way he rules, being much more active in the mortal realms, picking out champions, empowering those who would do good. And more than that, the concept of the ordning has been changed since then. There's still those who debate on it, and like Elwyn's probably, you're like picturing her telling the story like, oh, well, some historians disagree about really if this is truth or anything, but before the second convergence, the ordning was this strict concept of might makes right, and the bigger you are, the better you are, and now it's more of a meritocratal system. It's you can prove your worth by good deeds and by showing cunning and strength of will more than strength of arm.
I should also. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I should also mention that if the bad gods find us doing that, then this is gonna be really bad, and we don't have a lot of time.
Right.
I think Elwyn also mentions that she's heard from a priest of Tharvos that there are tribes of giants in Cadence that live outside of the original ordning. Sort of a colleague of hers who was going to try to make contact with them. That's it. That's everything.
Thanks, Rowan.
Got you covered.
That 22 really helped.
Yeah.
Rowan speaks Briellanese.
What exactly? How do we know who the bad gods are? I mean, Silra,
Yeah.
for one, doesn't she? She just kind of like trails off and like looks at Silra for a moment, and then is just like, not exactly sure what also counts as a god these days.
Well, she did say that the blood of Tharvos runs through me, and I can probably reach out to him a little better now. So maybe one day I can try and ask him for clarification.
On that concept, I'm going to give Rowan a little bit more. Not your subject of expertise, but it is in the realm of religion, and since you are studied. The concept of evil gods, 4 main names come to mind. They are known throughout the realm as the Forsaken Divinities. I'll get you spelling later, but the names are Zorithus, Gidriath, Nisma, and Lorvath.
I'll wait for that
I'll get you
spelling.
Those ones.
That may or may not be what Tharvos is talking about, but I will say, like, as a priest, Rowan would instantly think of those 4 names.
Yeah, I mean, if the god sealed these things down here, and I am keen to take things from the point of view of the elements more than anything else, but I generally have a pretty good relationship with Orindar, and there must have been a reason for doing this. Whether or not we think that's a good one or not is a different question. I feel like I should see if I can get his attention, get his 2 cents on it, or 2 copper on it.
Be more helpful than me.
Well, I think the fact that we have this message at all, that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you, Brielle. So don't sell yourself too short on that.
I'll be sure to share my dreams with you guys more often.
That'd be good. That sounds like fun.
Okay.
As this tunnel opens up into a much more natural cavern ahead of you, you can actually see here in this tunnel that still seems to be part of like the Myconid territory. Only about 20 feet in from where it opens up, you see another pile of bodies slowly succumbing to the fungal growth. 3 of them Duergar, and one of them too covered in fungus to tell, but too big to be a Duergar.
Interesting.
How lootable are they?
I was thinking that, but Brielle wouldn't.
Well, the bigger one, you would be risking touching every fungus on his body to try to find a pocket or anything of that nature. The other 3 seem to be more recent. and are only sprouting from the orifices of their body at the moment.
Could I make an investigation check both to look for stuff, but also kind of interested to see if there's any like obvious way that they've died?
Absolutely. Let's see your investigation check.
In the tower?
Yes, please.
Just a preemptive DA.
Okay. You dig around. First of all, you notice that their weapons are on hand. Military picks, nothing special. Two of them carrying shields, again, nothing special. You find a couple of pouches, each containing about a dozen gold, 24 gold total. As you try to look for a cause of death, you really can't determine one. You don't see any puncture wounds, but to someone like you, that's not necessary anyway. Their skin seems to be intact from what you can tell. Beyond that, there's really nothing you can make out.
No clear signs of what killed them, but I usually don't leave signs either. Not sure if that's comforting or more concerning.
Narrows it down.
Perhaps whatever was in here, though, with the visions that we saw from the Myconids, I think probably not, considering they were kind of ripped apart.
It's gotta be something bigger.
Keep an ear out for danger, I suppose.
Do you continue forward?
I'd say yes.
Yeah.
All right. You continue out at where the cavern opens, and immediately that sense of like oppressive humidity seems to loosen up a little bit. In the dark, it's hard to make out, but again, Rowan, at least with your passive, you notice that the cloud of spores becomes noticeably lighter outside of this tunnel. The sheer density of them in the air makes it feel like a completely different environment. But you continue on following this path in your mind's eye. The rough hewn stone that you climb up over, and you're sort of going up and down in elevation in different places. There's multiple tunnels sort of streaking off in different directions as you go, and you're following the one that you recall. And as you do, eventually you come out into a much more wide opening, and there in front of you, you see the deep, dark black of the lake that they referred to as Ernval.
Definitely did not rate it like that.
you have like various patches here and there of mushroom caps that are kind of giving off a light glow, and the water here is fairly still, and with limited dark vision, you just you're looking out into what looks like a void of space. After a while, there is sort of the rocks here seem to be slowly kind of eroding, and the rocky terrain is sort of pooling water here and there. And as you move outwards towards the lake, Silra first is able to notice a little bit of a glow. Very minor, not enough to even create dim light, but there is sort of a faint glow off in the distance, and she points it out. There's something there.
Like in the lake?
near the lake, near the surface, a little bit south of where you are, and out on one of these sort of rocky outcroppings. There's something. And as once she points it out, you can kind of make out there is an object that seems different than the rock it sits on.
Take a look. Get a little closer to make it out better.
Yeah, as you get closer, I guess you'd have to get 60 feet closer to kind of see it the way Silver does. As you approach it, you can see what looks like the upper half of a Myconid sitting on the rock.
All right, well, it's definitely, we're in the right place.
Yep.
Be a
little more alert.
Rowan, I'm going to ask you for a perception check, even though I know you're passive.
21, DM.
Holy shit! I'm going to reveal that just for the sake of it.
Whoa!
That was a nat 20.
I see everything.
Despite it being partially covered by the body, which is the source of that minor glowing, by the way, and the fact that it is sort of in the dark itself, Rowan, you notice that in its hand it's holding a staff, and this staff looks different than the ones you saw upwards in the cavern. There's this aura around it, if you will.
No, I don't think that I will.
What's that?
And no, I don't think that I will. What kind of aura is it? Like emanating a light, the cloud of spores?
So, first of all, it looks to be constructed of wood, which the staves up that you had seen were wood-like in nature, but it looked more like petrified, like mushroom stock. Like it looked like something that was softer and made hard. This looks to be actual wood, although from this distance, maybe hard to tell, being 60 feet out.
Yeah.
But it is, you can see the head is sort of intricately carved, and sort of like splays out from the back and around something in the center that you can't quite make out, but you do sort of see that sense of glowy little spores in that central part of it.
That top half of that Myconid's got something.
Something valuable.
Potentially. Watch my back. I'm going to take a closer look.
We'll like pull her axe out and her shield just in case.
Yeah, I'll also staff and shield and
yeah, totally. Like, yeah,
walking up near a dark lake in the Underdark.
you guys are being cautious, understandably so. Is the party more or less moving with him, staying behind? Are you?
I'm staying 60 feet away from him.
I'll probably stay 30 feet away from him, just so I can run up if I need to.
Got it. Okay.
I don't run across a map.
Yeah, Rowan, you kind of have to pass by a couple of these pools of water, which seem innocuous enough. Some of them a little deeper than others, but they're still water. There's nothing, you know. But as you step out further into this rocky outcropping, you can see now that this staff is in fact made of a wood, and as you draw near, it looks like to be like, you know, plants pretty well, and something about this, it's so reminiscent of like some of the deepest roots you've ever seen on very, very tall trees in ancient forests kind of thing, which would make sense given how far underground they are. But it feels like a really, really deep ancient root that has been carved this way. And as you look at the headpiece of it, you do see sort of 6 arms kind of coming around and not quite clasping in the center. And in this opening in the center are what looks to be almost very natural, flourishing fungal growth. And the aura that you kind of sense off of it now is that this is something charged with a lot of magical potential. And as you draw in nearer, you can actually see a streak of almost like a vein of pure magic running through this root.
This is something else. Is there any, other than it being imminently powerful, anything about it saying like, "Don't touch me"?
No, like it looks, as far as you can tell, it looks like it was being wielded well by this Myconid before he fell.
I will take it.
Absolutely. I will get you the stats for that as soon as you identify it. But it, wielding it in your hand, you're like, "Ooh, this is going to take some time to attune to because it's got some deep power in it."
There's something special here. This is a good find. Good spot, Sora.
Good stick.
This is a good stick right here.
Silra, being ever curious, kind of approaches. And Brielle, you said you were staying within 30 feet?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll come back a little bit from the water's edge.
Yeah, as you're yeah, fair enough. As you're doing that, coming away from the water's edge, something out in the water catches your attention. The water itself begins to glow. Far off at first, but then
We got company.
as you notice that the water ripples, the ripples kind of come out and a dim glow kind of spreads wherever the water is disturbed.
Back up more and prepare for whatever this is. Let's see if it keeps coming at us.
I'll back you all up a little bit, and you can all roll initiative.
Is there a map?
Yeah, I was gonna say
There is. I haven't brought it up yet.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I heard you moving
share.
things. I'm like, I don't see shit, man.
I don't trust this. I don't trust.
Let's bring up that map. Let's get some battle music.
not
Let's
how I
get some
spelt it.
initiative rolls.
Where did
And
it
that was-
go?
Pretty close to how I was spelling it.
I still somehow spelled it wrong after changing it. Because I
Spelling
thought
what?
you... Burnball?
Yep, that checks.
Woo! Way to go, Brielle.
I'm doing my best.
Oh boy. Come on. Work with me here. A 28'll do.
28 will indeed do.
Now we're going into combat, which means Pip should come back from whatever she's
Pip will be
doing.
here any
Always.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
As that glow draws nearer and nearer, you all begin to back up, sensing the impending danger. And all at once, you see the water surface break as multiple heads of a serpent-like creature just peek out, and it leaps onto the stone in front of you. You can see this creature's body is covered in almost stone-like bony plates, and its multiple heads snap out in all directions as it draws near, stomping on the ground, and you can feel the weight of it with each footfall. Wren, it is your turn first.
Is there anywhere for her to hide amongst these stones?
Oh, absolutely. Like anywhere you can see like stones pushing out kind of thing.
Like
I could,
this?
yeah, like that's absolutely a perfect example. As you draw near to that stone to hide behind it, I'll just point out, as you your foot kind of disturbs the water beneath your foot, you see a slight glow to it kind of emanate.
Oh, interesting. Will this affect the stealth that I'm about to do?
You are dimly lit by it. So you have cover and stuff, though. You're fine.
Okay. Going to hide. 23.
It's going to be a successful hide.
Yay. And I am within range to do a ranged attack, so I am going to she kind of pads across very lightly and quietly, but then she does seem slightly surprised when there's like a sudden glow near her, and she just quickly presses her back against some of this rock, and then she's going to let one dagger just like fly past Silra here. Oh, I didn't do that with advantage. Should I roll again in case it's a crit?
Sure, roll again. Almost.
Almost. And sneak attack on that. Not bad. She lets it fly, and then she's just like, another freaking big creature again. She's just like having flashbacks of being cornered by a wyvern right now.
Oh no.
Absolutely, yeah. And as your dagger streaks out past all your allies over their heads, you see it collide with the neck of one of its heads, and it reels back and roars while all three other heads kind of focus in on those nearest it. Is that end of turn?
Yep.
All right, then that brings us to Rowan. You're muted.
I am gonna keep backing up away from this thing a little bit, and if Silra counts as a willing creature, I'll use my bonus action to teleport her a little distance away. I was going to keep moving over there.
Yep, that's fine.
As I pass her, I'll just bring her back with me just to get her out of range of this spell I'm about to cast. And I would like to cast Spike Growth right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go on and run in, Brielle.
No, I'm just kidding. I got Javelin now. Unstoppable.
I will start concentrating on that, and I don't think anything happens until it tries to move.
How much damage does it take for passing through that?
2d4 for every 5 feet, and it's somehow not... it's difficult terrain as well, if that matters for this creature.
Yeah, that would matter. Cool.
Here's Pip.
There's Pip. Look at that.
Right on time.
We were just talking about you. And so end of turn for Rowan.
Yes.
All right. Well, Silra being poofed back by Rowan, seeing the creature out here, just kind of focuses in on it, casts a hex on it, and is going to cast Eldritch Blast. Where is hex? There it is. Oop.
I never rolled to see if I have good omens or bad omens today. We have good omens.
One was a miss. Okay. Silra casts her hex on it and tosses an Eldritch Blast, and it just deflects off the armor plates, and another one colliding with its torso, and the creature seems mostly unfazed by it. Brielle, it's your turn.
I'm going to move up 5 feet, and I'm going to chuck my javelin at it.
Absolutely, go for it.
Nope. And then we'll try a second time. Nope.
You chuck your javelin and comes off the plates of its torso, and then another one, you chuck it, and its head just turns at the last second and off the bony plates of its neck.
I look at the thorny ground and I just get a little bit of like, okay, that's my turn. She's just like, not again.
Then that brings us to this multi-headed creature. It begins to move into this space. So 2d4 for every 5 feet.
Yes.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So 6 times 2d4, please.
Let's see. 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whee!
That's fun.
35.
All right. So let me make that. And then
That's pretty good.
Okay. Oh, that's not the right number. Yeah, these spikes grow up all the way around this creature, and as it begins to drag its body through there, it comes out the other side, and you can see one of the heads is limp and bloody and just barely hanging off the neck, as it seems to have pushed through using one of its 4 heads as a shield against the rest of it. As soon as it pushes its way through the other side, 3 of its heads kind of snapping above Brielle's head, it looks to the one dead head, and one of the heads just grabs it at the neck, rips it off its body, and chucks it aside.
Wow.
Metal.
That was badass.
It's like, okay, you can have the lake.
That is the end of its turn. However, at the end of its turn, as you see that bloody stump, suddenly 2 more heads appear
That's
out
not
of
good.
it. And as soon as they rip out, you see there's like sort of this bluish, purplish, fleshy color. And seconds after erupting from the torso, you see these bony plates forming around the neck to armor it. That is its turn. It is back to Wren.
Is it within 5 feet of Brielle?
It sure is.
All right, I'm a rogue. I'm gonna make my 2 attacks and hope that one of them lands sneak attack.
Go for it. That's a nat 1.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
All right, you may use your inspiration. Do I still have inspiration?
You do. That's a 20. You have
Yeah.
2 actually.
Oh, look at me. I'm gonna fuck you guys up.
He doesn't need it.
21. I'm gonna make another attack right after that, and then I'll.
Hits.
Yeah. So I think she will have also moved up just a little bit here.
Okay.
Knowing that she could probably take a hit better than Silra, and Silra is still like in front of her essentially. She does move in a bit closer, but still keeping her distance. She's just going to like one after the other chuck right past Brielle. It's probably like just glows through the air right past her. And then that'll be end of turn. And I am plugging my headset.
You see these 2 psychic blades find purchase between the bony plates on the creature, and it reels back a little bit and then sort of plants its feet and readies itself for another attack. Rowan.
All right. Would this be reminiscent of any sort of creature that Rowan might have heard myths about, vis-a-vis needing to use fire for these things? Or Roll for that if you want.
Yeah, give me. I'll take arcane, nature, or history. Your choice.
Well, I am proficient in one of those.
Sure. With a 17 in nature, Rowan, you've certainly heard of the tales of a Hydra and its susceptibility to fire. However, this creature, though definitely a multi-headed serpent like a Hydra, feels different. It may still have the same susceptibilities, it may not, but you've certainly never heard of one having armored plates on it.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know what this says. Reminds me of a Hydra. I don't know if this is going to work, but cast throw a produce flame at it just to see what it does.
Absolutely. Let's get that attack roll.
Targeting it, cool.
It's going to be a hit. As one of its heads sort of comes down, you find an opening, and you get that fire in between some of its bony plates. Yeah, and you see it sort of reels back a little bit, displeased by the fire.
And bonus action, I will enter the starry form. Oh, I'll go with the chalice this time and start shedding some light around me.
Yeah, okay.
10 feet of bright and 10 feet of dim, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's fine with me. What's that like? I don't know. On you.
All right. And I think I'll stay put.
Cool. Silra sort of takes a step back next to Wren and continues her blasting of Eldritch Blasts.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ooh, a hit and a crit.
You love to see
Silra.
Of course, when Cherry's not here to roll.
Yeah, you
Right.
see her sort of drawing on her eldritch power, and she links up with exactly where another head meets the base, and you see this neck split open as another one of its heads grabs hold and rips it free, chucking it aside. Brielle.
Rowan, I don't really know what a Hydra is, but did the fire work?
I don't know. We'll see if it grows another head back.
Brielle is going to bonus action, but not really know she's doing this. Cast Searing Smite, and then she's going to take her hand axe and try and slash at it. So casting spells. This is new for me.
Does Rowan understand what she's doing?
Her axe just starts. The head of her axe just starts to glow, like as if it's like been taken straight out of a forge. So it's just bright, molten, warm looking. Okay, let's see. So
You said you're doing this with your hand axe, not your like family
my
axe?
battle axe, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, the usual one. So do I just click use power? Or
I think
Should be
for
enough.
that one, that's what it should do.
okay, and then I make my attack?
It should apply an effect to you to do more
Yes.
damage.
That's so you want the oh no, there's a button for fire damage, it looks like.
Oh, cool. Does it
'cause
slightly differently than sneak attack?
because there's a con save on it.
Yes, for the start of each of its turns until the spell ends, because it's concentration for a minute.
Oh, I see. So yeah, you do the effect button and then make your
Okay.
attack.
Got
There
it,
we
got
go.
it. Effect.
Thanks for joining the
Attack.
Academy Roleplay Dungeon.
Oh my gosh.
You still got an
Uh,
extra attack, right?
You
Yes,
have
but it's
inspiration
not-
as well.
Do I? I thought I used. Oh, I do have
You've
one.
got it.
I'm
You've
gonna
got it.
use it.
That's
That'll
better.
hit. That's way
different.
better.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How does this work then with Savage Attacker?
You just had to make the most complicated thing to play.
I'll
I'd like
unclick
to-
it and then I'll roll a d6 for fire damage. Does that work?
Sure.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, you just got another inspiration, I guess, from your husband.
Why did it do the giant smite one? Oh no, it did the fire damage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will just roll a d8 then. And you
Okay.
can take the fire damage from that. Does that work?
Sure.
Hey.
Okay, so 9.
Plus
Okay.
should be 13, right? Because you.
Yes, 13 plus the 4.
Right. Okay. All right.
That's
that
my
your
turn.
turn?
I'm not doing anything else. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
No, you're good.
Yeah, you get your fiery axe right into it, and it seems to reel back once more, and then again it gets down on its haunches and bends its torso forward. You can see a big stony tail flop up onto its back, and all at once, a bunch of stony projections come flying out of it.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I don't like it. Please stop.
But it's cool.
Yes, it is
Nah.
cool.
Wait, why is it not showing as a... Am I targeting... Oh, I'm doing that as Brielle, that's why.
Bunch of rocks come flying from Brielle.
Oh,
It's
Um,
its turn?
Yeah, we're on its turn now.
Okay. Okay. Then at the start of its turn, it has to make a con save. So I click that blue button.
Yes. Yep.
Look at me learning.
That's a fail.
Okay. So on failed save, it takes 1d6 fire damage.
Yeah, so do the damage button now.
Boom. Done.
Yeah, you see it burning as a fire damage takes hold, and then all at once, this cone of stony spines just are fired out almost like a machine gun at all of you, and that's going to be a dex save from all of you.
Yay! I get to use evasion.
Natural 20.
And as all these stones spray out at all of you, Wren evades the thing entirely. The rest of you are taking partial damage from its stony attack. And it's down to 4 heads again, right? Went up to 5 and then
Yes.
took another one off.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Brielle, you're going to get a remaining 3 attacks from it.
Okay.
I should make sure I've got my targeting right, because I don't want to.
Everybody gets attack.
Yeah, it's 3 heads that were not focused in on the stony attack. Now, snap down at Brielle. That's going to be a miss.
We take
As your
those.
shield deflects the first one, another one comes in from the side and pierces right into your flesh, and immediately you feel its fangs injecting venom into your body as you take some poison damage on top of that. Finally, its third head closes in, and
Should it not be rolling concentration checks for me?
if you're concentrating on the spell, yes, you should be.
Yeah,
It is.
because it is a concentration. It is? Okay.
We read the spell.
Roll me 2 concentration, 3 actually. Concentration saves then, because it's not rolling them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Let's pass. That's a pass.
And you said 3?
Yep.
That's a
Very
pass.
much pass. Yep.
Damn.
But
Real
as you
focus.
deflect one of the heads, the other two bite into you, and you can feel its venom entering your body. It doesn't feel great. However, as it pulls away, you can see it almost has an expectation of regrowth that does not happen. Rowan.
Yeah, it's working. It's working. Keep it up.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
Ren, it's back to you.
Yeah, Wren had just like kind of slipped behind the rock as all of this rock debris came flying in their direction. And as soon as it lands, she's going to, again, step out.
Step out.
Do the stabby mind stuff, you know?
That'd be mine stuff. Let's see it.
That's what I'm here for.
Oh, I forgot my advantage. Fuck. Oh well.
That's okay.
I got a stronger
You
creature.
took me
coming.
almost
Fine.
half down to health, okay?
I could have done more.
I could have done more. I could have killed you.
Yeah. Ren, you release another blade, and you've now focused in on where it meets the body. You've noticed that joint, and your blade gets in there, and immediately you can see as it inflicts the nervous system with your specific psychic resonance, it bursts, and that another head falls limp to the ground.
Another attack. Not good. I have
As another blade
inspiration,
comes
but
out,
I'm not using it.
one of its heads kind of streaks out around its body, and it's deflected by the bony plates.
Got a little bit too confident there. He is going to just back up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And once more, you notice as you kind of tread across that watery surface, as wherever you disturb the water, there's sort of this natural luminescent glow to it. Rowan.
Seeing the sudden amount of injury dealt to Brielle, I'm going to drop concentration on spike growth and replace it instead with Aura of Vitality.
Absolutely.
Spike growth, go away. So at the start of my turn and each of my subsequent turns, I can do 2d6 healing points to somebody. And then, because I cast a spell, the chalice overfloweth with healing energy.
I love Rowan.
Yeah, Brielle, you
They
just
start
feel Rowan's
emanating.
starry energy coming around you and refilling your wounds.
Action, bonus action. Yeah, I'll just stay there. It seems to be working out for me.
Yeah, totally. Silra, not liking that stony spine attack, starts running back into the mushrooms and fires her Eldritch Blast once more. That's 2 hits.
Man,
damn.
Sora's on fire.
Yeah, you see that as the last 2 heads are sort of reaching out at Brielle, looking for an opportunity, you see Silra kind of line up and go, and at the neck, both of them just blow apart, and the whole creature goes limp suddenly. And that's it for the armored Hydra, which one of my daughters helped me to build.
That was
Oh,
really
wow.
cool. It's dead.
It's dead. Yeah, you stand there watching it for a little bit, fire in your hand, but the heads just seem to continue to pour out this black ichorous blood and
That doesn't
nothing
look good.
else.
You think that was it? That was the creature?
Never seen anything like that. I don't know what happens if it kept growing back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you throw another ball of fire at it, and the corpse ignites.
Oh,
I
wasn't trying to do that.
Harry
Yeah,
probably
you
could have done with that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, turn that away.
Control flame, my brother.
I was just gonna try and throw some water on it.
Yeah,
That
you're
was
throwing water.
literally-
It's all like glowing as soon as you touch it, and you're just throwing this glowing water on it. He's
If there's
controlling
anything
flame.
else, we'll find out.
That was literally the first thing I wrote down as soon as we saw Hydra. Maybe Ari can use this.
We're already laden
We'll
down
help
with
your
liver and
daughter's
eggs. I
other
don't think we
kid.
can carry a Hydra out of here.
Yeah, what would you
salvageable?
like to do? What would you like to try to salvage from it?
You said it had like particularly like tough scaling on it or something?
Yeah, do you want to like sort of examine that, see if you can get some of that off?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you do a survival check to try to get some of those scales. I'd also like some sort of like nature or arcana check or something to as you're kind of looking at them, just because there's notable stuff about them.
I can do that if we want.
Rowan, would you like to give me a hand over here?
Yeah, I got you covered. Either, both. What's up?
Well, she's not good at any of this. What do I need to roll in order to, like, I'll let Rowan take the lead in the actually looking over the creature, and she'll kind of do the grunt work and getting it off.
If you want to do that, I'll let you do like a sleight of hand to try to pry those off with your blade. Well, and you can have advantage on that with Rowan guiding you. Rowan, I'll take a nature check from you to kind of analyze what you're dealing with here. Ooh, so yeah, it's pretty good. As you're looking at these, Rowan, the scales or the bony plates on this Hydra are very stone-like in nature. They look like a mineral to your eyes, and there's this slight glint to them. And as you kind of look at them in the glowing light of your chalice, you notice that it's refracting the light, and you peer in it a little closer. And this thing is infused with verglass, like as though it was born in it.
Ooh,
This is wild.
what is it?
See all that sparkly stuff?
Yeah.
That's verglass. No doubt.
So creatures can grow it too?
Apparently, this one can. Or at least use it, infuse it, and maybe eats it like a nutrient. I don't know. This is weird.
Well, almost everyone local has been saying how creatures have been acting very strange lately. Maybe that's something to do with the verglass.
Could be. So I have 10 turns left on Aura Vitality, so I'm just going to go and hand out some healing.
Sure, yeah, you are welcome to do that as you see fit. Wren, with that sleight of hand also being guided by Rowan's understanding of this creature's nature, you're able to get a dozen really good examples of, or rather really good samples of these bony plates. You don't know what use they might have yet, but you certainly do know people who might be interested in them.
Thanks, Rowan.
And these were what Rowan said were like made of verglass.
They're certainly
Sort of
infused with it.
infused with it.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like a lizard scale, but combined with stone and verglass. Very unusual.
Okay.
Very unique.
And if they're particularly large, then I'll give them to Silra to put in the bag.
Yeah, that would probably be your best bet, as they're sort of like these U shapes that kind of go around the neck. Those are the ones you're able to collect anyway.
Okay. As she's storing these little plates of scale, she just also like kind of looks over her shoulder at this this egg she has strapped to her back that she's been fighting with this whole time. She's like, "Are you okay back there?" She just kind of looks at it to make sure it's not cracked.
Do you want to examine it to see if it's cracked?
No, she's just gonna be fine. So it's just more of her flavor.
Not cracked right there.
Yeah, you can't see any crack here where you're looking over your shoulder at it.
It's fine.
Anything else you would like to do here?
I mean, we made a lot of. I guess Brielle just kind of like walk to the water's edge and try and disturb the water a little more to try and see if anything else is in there.
Yeah, absolutely. You actually notice as you're approaching the water that most of it has gone dark again. And then as you kind of, with your foot or whatever,
yeah,
you kick the water a little bit, you see that the dim glow kind of ripples outward from where you kicked it until the ripple is no more. Whatever like microbial life is in here is bioluminescent whenever it's disturbed. And you don't see any reaction from the water beyond that.
Must be it then.
All right.
I would hope so if this wasn't the real threat. But...
yeah, if there's something scarier than this that's bothering them, I guess we'll have to fight that too, huh? I guess we go back.
You just get like a quiet, "Oh, I'm ready" from Silra.
Yeah, I guess let's go back.
Yeah.
We'll head back.
You guys head back the way you came. Probably superfluous, but go ahead and make a survival check to kind of identify the right cavern. This is unfamiliar territory to you.
This is true. I do have inspiration if it's bad.
No, you're good enough for sure. At first, you're kind of like, oh, a lot of these do look the same, and then you recognize the exact sequence of lit funguses that you came through, and you're like, oh yeah, there was a blue, then a purple, then a green.
A really high stakes game of Simon Says down here.
You guys make your way back through the tunnels, and as you're walking, you feel this rumble underfoot. This as the whole mountain seems to shift ever so slightly.
We felt that one. Everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you all.
Okay. That's like what I was feeling earlier, but more.
He must be working on stuff.
There is a lot going on in the mountain right now. I'm not really one for worship, or really until I met both of you and learned more about you. All of you, actually, I suppose. Gods were very loosely taught to me. I didn't tell any of you this, but back when we were still looking for the Genasi village, I had taken some time during my watch I was just trying to maybe glean a little bit about the Genasi customs at the time, but I noticed that there was a spot that was very obviously someone had prayed there. It was clear. And so I thought, why not? You know, when you're with people, you do as they do. And then I saw in my mind a very large entity, Orindar. And I'm a little bit weirded out, to be honest. I've never had something... I've been taught my whole life how to open my mind to others so that we can communicate, but nothing has ever tried to overtake my mind in quite that way before. Is this something that both of you have dealt with for a long time?
Gonna look towards Brielle for a second and back towards Wren. And I don't think the phrase overtake my mind would apply to any sort of the interactions I've had.
I just have pleasant dreams.
Well, leave it to me to have the most unsettling of interactions in this avenue.
I'll look towards Silvera. Like, that sounds like more your thing.
Yeah, perhaps we'll have to have a conversation about that later, especially because seems like we're going to be dealing with this Orindar for a bit longer than just today.
Yeah, I am a little bit concerned. I'm being honest. I'm not so sure that bringing these secrets back is the best idea. We could plunge this region into conflict if these individuals are protecting minerals and resources that they consider sacred, that people like Drindle consider for commerce.
Yes. I don't think Drindle's too concerned about the state of the gods and cadence, as far as I can tell anyway.
Well, he may not be, but if they need to mine mineral, those who they find might make them be concerned.
Well, let's hope that what we did here will appease the Genasi, who I do trust so far. And maybe they won't have to come here. They'll have what they need. Besides, it seems like everything here is dangerous and wants to kill anything that comes here, so I think they'll have their hands full with that at least.
Oh, I'm not talking about the Genasi. I'm talking about people from Kine and the Empire. I feel as though the Genasi will not take too much. That seems to be sort of their thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Drindle tries to come here, I think that he'll have his hands full trying to even get down here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Everyone's thought that we were crazy for even going west at all, even before they knew we were going into the depths of the High Father.
Well, I would just prefer that as few people as possible have a reason to come out here.
That's fair. I'd like to keep them all safe if we could.
On that note, do we trust that our Genasi friends are... Oh.
They've given me no reason to consider them anything other than unhospitable. They asked us to talk for them instead of trying to fight their way through.
This is true. A rare quality in the people that we've encountered.
Are you concerned, Wren?
I don't know enough about any of this to really know who I can trust. I'm very much used to navigating social situations on a very different level. Trade deals and land rights, who owns what in a city, those are more up my alley, and I can't say that I've ever negotiated for a tribe of Genasi to a tribe of mushroom-like people.
But it's the same. We're trading verglass and information, and you're making contacts, just not in a pretty building.
It's kind of pretty.
I suppose you're right. I will come away with this with a very different skill set than I think anyone back home could say that they have. So maybe it'll be sort of my specialty, negotiating with people who have never touched civilization.
There you go. Something for your business card.
Yeah. Well, let's see how our negotiations unfold then. She'll continue to follow.
Yeah, you guys continue your long trek back through these natural caverns until you finally find the tunnel opening with the more thick, spore-filled air inside.
In the right place.
You travel in and immediately you feel that sort of oppressive humidity, the thickness in the air as you breathe in the spores of the Myconid colony. And you continue down this tunnel for 40 minutes until you arrive at the fungal wall.
Hello?
Yeah, you go to knock and it's like, it's thick and hardy but spongy, and it like gives off absolutely no noise as you contact it.
Wren will try to like just touch it, and then she's going to try to reach out with her mind if there's like, normally she has to see someone's, but she's just kind of like trying to make them aware of her presence in some way.
I like that. Like, give me some kind of roll for that.
Maybe they're connected to the wall.
Roll for some kind of.
Is this the second time this week that I've touched a wall and tried to use an ability in a way that's not?
We love creative use.
It's weird that it's happened twice.
Wren just develops the ability touch wall.
Sorry, you said roll of some kind. Can I try insight or?
I'll give you insight. I'll let you do insight.
I'm gonna use my inspiration on that. We'll see.
Okay.
That's a lot better.
Yeah, you touch this wall of fungal growth, and at first you're like, okay, this isn't a creature. But
you never know, they all seemed connected.
Almost in the same way that you connected with Orindar before, you feel somehow your thought move into the wall and down into the mycelium and across this vast network that you now realize travels the entirety of this mountain. And you feel sort of connected to everything and nothing, and suddenly you just feel we're on our way.
She just like kind of like snaps back from like the overwhelming sensation of being connected to everything for a moment. And then she just, her head like snaps towards the others. I think they're going to open the mushroom. She said, it's like gesturing at the wall.
Man, that's wild. I met some druids from another circle that could do some kind of mushroomy spory stuff. Maybe you should
You
talk
didn't
to
tell
them.
me that.
Well, it wasn't my...
There could have been 3 more pages I learned.
Well, I just kind of remembered in this moment, with the circumstances being what
Okay,
they are.
well, when you teach me the cleric stuff, you can go over the mushroom stuff too.
Well, I don't really know a whole lot about that. I just saw it a couple, they were in town for a couple days visiting.
As you're having this conversation, suddenly the wall just...
They could do stuff
into
like
the
that
stone.
with mushrooms.
You find Guardian Vott and his vanguard, the 4, as well as a half dozen others sort of standing in a semicircle behind them. And Vott steps forward. We heard the end of the monster.
Oh, good.
Orindar is shifted. He is happy.
We felt that too.
Oh.
That's great.
It is very good. Also, you carry the Spore Caller's crook.
Is that what this is? I found it down there.
It was wielded by Orindar's previous champion.
Oh.
It seems it has found you.
I suppose it has.
It will serve you well.
All right.
We trust that when you reach your end, it will find its way back to us.
Hopefully you'll be waiting a while.
You get this sense of understanding the joviality of what you said, though he has no outward reaction in any way.
A couple of people in the back sort of bob.
You get the feeling like if he was a child, he would have done the bouncing thing. Come. And they all turn and walk. And you can see now that the six in the sort of semicircle that are now at the head of the group are sort of very quietly giving off this song. It's just this low hum, but it's like veneration to the mountain, veneration to Orindar. It's a song of victory and joy. And as you continue on inward, you find that they don't head back up the spiral that you came down. Instead, they head in the opposite direction. And here you find the spores growing thicker and deeper. And I think instinctively you know that the spores are thick enough here that were they to will it, you would be dead. But they do not. And you continue on deep until suddenly there are no spores at all. But before you stands a 75-foot tall, 6-armed creature of stone and crystal that, with almost a faceless stare, looks down at you, one with the mountain and yet a separate entity, something that is godlike and yet trapped and feeling so animal-like in that sense. It has no mouth, and yet you hear this deep rumble in your head. I am Aetherim incarnate. I am the mountain. I am Orindar.
Brielle will just like nod her head, like kind of like a bow at it, not knowing how these things work, but wanting to show it respect.
Hi.
Did we just trade places?
Yeah.
Brielle, as you bow, you notice that the Myconid around you also fall to their knees, and
I think Wren will do the same posture that she had before.
Oh,
you see Silra give like sort of a reluctant bow. And,
no flipping the bird this time.
Thank goodness.
And as its rumble sort of spreads outward, you can feel it beneath your feet and all around you. You can feel the chamber close behind you. And as that happens, it becomes dark. And then all at once, you see above you. Rowan, you know this to be factual. The stars as they actually are outside.
that's weird.
It is a perfect crystalline reconstruction of the night sky. And you hear in your head through this rumbling of earth once more, I miss the sky. And on that note, I think we'll call it a night, take a little break. We'll come back next week and you guys can decide what it is you want to ask this ancient fucking elemental that you have earned an audience with.
That's pretty damn cool.
So cool.
Do you know what I did with my keys?
They are on the surface.
Yeah. I thought so. Damn. Guys, we gotta go back. I love my keys.
Well, that's where
that was great.
Yeah, guys. I do wish the armored Hydra had posed a little more of a challenge to you. I'm learning that you, in the short time since Wars Delta, you've really kicked it up a notch. So
Wars Delta scared us way too much.
We had a little fire under us.
Yeah, you're all like, oh shit, we got to be tactical, and now suddenly you're surgical with every freaking move. So. But that was great, though. I'm sure Huntress will be glad to hear that you guys had fun killing her monster.
Yep.
Those crits didn't hurt at all either.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
How did it feel killing your own monster?
Right? How do I want to do this?
I'm impartial. I'm good. I'm happy with it. I wish it was more of a challenge, but it is what it is. Sometimes you guys are just doing really well.
I mean, for one round of combat, for one round of attacks, that put the hurt on Brielle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I know it very easily could have gone very bad. I am well aware. That's why I don't get too bothered. As a DM, I'm like, I know that the gap between killed easily and kills all of you is so narrow. Like, very easy to jump from one end to the other.
Yes.
But that was great, guys. Thanks for being so awesome and engaging with every group of weirdos in this mountain I throw at you. And
I've loved this mountain. It's so
Thanks for
cool.
placing weirdos in this mountain to engage with. Everybody loves a weird little guy, and we have just been given a whole village
The
full of
kids were so cute.
The kids were so cute.
not planned. That's all in the moment. Hey, this is great. But you know, that's my strength as a DM, coming up with interesting people on the fly.
Who are we gonna go see tonight?
Yeah, who are we raiding tonight?
We are gonna go raid role propelled gamers who are playing some D&D.
Nice. Well, when we get that raid going, I will say a big thank you once again to our friends at Fantasy Grounds. Not sponsored, just friends. I do love their VTT, even though Brielle makes it difficult sometimes.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, that's fine.
At
You know, I
least
gotta
one time,
haze you a
it's
little
not
bit.
me.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's fair
not
for the map
David.
hazing. It's
It's usually me. So
And thank you to our friends at Dungeon Alchemist. Once again, not sponsored, but good friends of ours. And I do love their fucking map making program. It makes my life so much easier and so much more fun making the maps. I almost want to start doing map making streams again, but the reality is I do it very quickly because their program's so good. I do it in like 10 minutes in the middle of like working. So
and if you slow down for a while, keep up with chat, take you 20-25 minutes to bang one out.
And then thank you to our musical friends, Dark Fantasy Studios, Mad Music, Tabletop RPG, and ASCII, who is our newest addition. Thank you to my wonderful players. You guys make this game so much fun to be a part of, even as just a DM. And thank you to everyone who was here with us tonight. I hope you had fun. I know we did. Remember, as always, to play with the top down. Bye.
Bye.
And V-necks are cool. Happy St. Patty's Day.